Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
So what do you see to the federal government's proposed ban on 60,000 litre capacity petroleum tankers?
Well, as far as we're concerned, we share the pain of all Nigerians about the recent law accidents and the resultant loss of lives. And if the conclusion or the decision taken as a result of all this is a result of this heavy duty load fine, we are ready to key in to avoid all the avoidable incidences. But in our own point of view, all the accidents, they are not necessarily related to the volume of the product loaded. Rather, there are a lot of factors involved, which also we are trying to see that we face them head on in conjunction with all other relevant government agencies and other stakeholders, so that we avoid these avoidable incidences.
What are the factors involved or the situations that you would attribute these accidents to?
Well, there were actually a lot of recommendations for operations, safety operations of trucks laden with petroleum products across the country. One of which there will have to, at all times, be safety valves on all the vehicles that are going to henceforth load petroleum product, which is also in line with our recommendations. There has to be driver training and retraining. There has to be vehicle inspection. There has to be color coding. There has to be speed limiting devices on all the vehicles. And also safe to load policy, which will normally be done in conjunction with Federal Safety Code, wherein a vehicle must be inspected and certified safe to load before it is loaded. It will similarly be certified safe to travel before it is allowed to travel. So all this will come on board to ensure that future occurrences are avoided. In addition, also, there is the plan that any vehicle above 60,000 liters from 1st of March will not be loaded, and any vehicle above 45,000 from October, it will not be loaded.
I'd like to find out, does it mean that these safety measures are not being put in place by your association because you said they will be coming on board, which means they are not already in effect? So I'm wondering what your association has been doing to ensure that these trucks are roadworthy.
Our vehicles are roadworthy, and all I have said, they are on board. There are very few trucks that do not have speed limiting devices. So it is now a must. All the vehicles that do not have speed limiting devices will not be loaded. And of course, there are also some that do not necessarily have effective safety valve. It's one thing to have safety valve, it's another thing to have effective, usually being serviced and reserviced. That is why the inspection of vehicle is key. The vehicle must be inspected and fit, roadworthy, before it is allowed to load petroleum product. At the same time, also, it will be inspected at the point of loading, whether oil is well before it is allowed to load. Even if it is loaded, it will have to be certified fit to leave the loading facility and face the road before. So all these things, they were on board. Now what we are doing is refresh. We need to refresh all we are doing in order to ensure that all the safety checks are in place. At the same time, also, in addition to all these checks and safety recommendations, there is need also from our point of view to look at the conditions of the road. Our belief is that there is a very strong correlation between these incessant accidents and the condition of the road. If you look at the one at Port Harcourt, for example, explosion, the road is work in progress, and then there was a crash. Then the one in Diko, Abuja, Kaduna, Kano Road is also in construction, was a work in progress. So they are related, but notwithstanding, we will continue to educate and enlighten the drivers. In fact, one of the devices that they have been proposed recently is the issue of a device that will detect the well-being on the driver on wheel, whether he is in the influence of any substance, whether he is tired. So such kind of innovations and technological innovations, they are key to the safety of this kind of inflammable products.
Okay, I'm glad that you talked about the mental state or the expertise of the drivers. I was going to mention that, but then let's leave that out and let's talk about how monumental the impact of this ban on truck owners is, most especially the fact that they invested heavily in this business.
Well, as far as we are concerned, from our records, we have about 2,000 trucks of our 60,000 capacity, and most of these trucks are brand new trucks with all the necessary gadgets. They are strong, and so we are talking about 300 billion. So I don't know. From now to October is a long time. Maybe probably there are plans in place to ensure that certain remedial actions are planned or taken was able to cushion the effect. I'm quite aware that there is some funds from MDGIF that are meant for CNG infrastructure. So probably some of the members will tap into that and ensure that they maybe change the tank or reduce the quality of the tank and maybe have some cushioning effect of the cost. Or probably we'll discuss with the NMDPRA and ensure that certain measures are taken to cushion the effect of this cost. These vehicles are private investments and they are done with a view to ensure fuel is distributed across the country. It is on record today, fuel is distributed by trucks across nooks and crannies of all cities in Nigeria. So that is why you find you must have a serviceable vehicle to be able to do that. And all those 60,000 vehicles are well serviceable.
So I'm actually glad that you mentioned the regulator, because I know that you mentioned a couple of measures that would be onboarded to mitigate the impact of the accidents that we see on the road. But then the NMDPRA said it is proposing the use of 45,000 liter capacity trucks instead to reduce accidents and explosions. So is that a better solution, or it will negatively impact your business?
Well, it is something that is being proposed, and of course, we, the players in the system, will have to comply. If it is what will bring solution to the incessant, explosion, let it be. We'll support it and we'll ensure that in total it is complied. But from our own point of view, that may not necessarily be the solution. But if it is the decision of the authority and it is instructed that we do comply, and we ensure total compliance by grace of God.
So you are saying that there's possibility that that might not be the expert solution, but you are comfortable with incurring losses if these proposals scales through. Is that what you mean?
We are not comfortable, of course, we are not comfortable with incurring losses. That is why I said they will have to come in with certain measures in order to cushion the effect. At the same time, also, we are particularly, as much as we appreciate whatever they are doing, but we are particularly even concerned with the conditions of the road across the nooks and crannies, and especially the major roads that we apply for this distribution of petroleum products. It will amaze you to go, if you, maybe as you are close to Lagos, just have a time to go to Oyo or Gomosho Road. You can spend 48 hours on queue. You will see about 1,000 trucks on queue going and come. And because of the condition of the road. So that was a situation where you see vehicles laden with petroleum products, all of them queuing out at the same time, is a potential danger. And if you go around Bida down to Lambert, you see also trucks on queue because of the conditions of the road. But that is not to say that the roads are, the work is already been given to contractors, but probably for whatever reason, some of the contractors are not proactive. What we expected was that some of the contractors will come and maybe clear some areas so that there will be smooth passage before the construction is completed.
All right, so I know you've mentioned a couple of things as affects your business. Now, the agency is actually accusing your association of non-compliance with established safety measures. and that has contributed to the rising number of fuel tanker accidents. I'm wondering how you're going to react to this. I'm talking about the regulator now.
I don't want to believe so, but whatever the situation, because of the enormity of the issue, we are not putting blame on anybody. What we are going to do going forward to ensure total compliance, we are going to be physically involved now to PTD NUPEN, physically involved and Federal Safety Corps, and ensuring that any vehicle that does not comply is sanctioned. And I believe we will achieve the desired objective. We are working, of course, in tandem with the authority. We have no reason whatsoever not to comply. The only thing is that, like I said, these are private investments, and private investment, need to have some cushion in order to clear away some of the observations.
Okay, so just to further have you buttress your points as regards adhering to rules and regulations, I want to quickly track back to a time where there was a legislation that truck drivers should ply the roads at night to reduce accidents. But we've seen little or no adherence to this directive. Is there an assurance coming from you that moving forward your association will adhere to this particular directive?
Well, if you look at the directive clearly, maybe you have to look at it very well. There is a caveat. They say, except those vehicles that are doing essential or emergency services. I want to believe distribution of fuel is an essential and emergency service. And that is why it's probably being done and denied. But let me tell you, NARTO, PTD, NUPEN, we have stopped driving in the night, especially on the major road, because in fact, we are even compelled not to drive in the night because of the condition of the road. Even in broad daylight, you do not have clarity on the road, particularly of in the night. So in the night, we don't allow our drivers to drive. Why? Because there are a lot of insecurity, a lot of hijacking of the vehicle, which so many people don't know, but we know. Some people will just hijack your driver on the road. They'll go and dispense fuel somewhere and leave the truck. So we don't drive in the night. The only time you see a vehicle in the night is distribution. Distribution of fuel within the town. That is probably when you see some of these vehicles driving in the night. Otherwise, it's in the daytime. Now, for us to not to stop working in the daytime, then what time are we going to distribute the fuel?
Seems to be a lot of challenges within that sector. Now, as a form of solution to most of these challenges you've mentioned, you advocated that the federal government should consider a buyback policy to support tanker owners. So I'd like you to tell us more on this.
Yes, what I say is that this investment on this vehicle is about 300 billion, some of which is financed by banks and other financial institutions. And to clear them at your goal, of course, will come with some costs. So that is why we are agitating that there is need to look at these costs. Of course, there is some funds earmarked by the federal government for infrastructure in the CNG initiative, and it's another window that some of the people who have this thing can tap, and maybe some conditions relaxed to be able to reduce some of the suffering that will come as a result of withdrawal of these vehicles on the street. Don't forget, we say 2,000 vehicles, bus, trucks, and of course, it means 2,000 drivers, 2,000 motorboys and their families. So to clear them at a go is a huge loss to even the distribution, the volume distributed, and also the employment and a lot of other things. So they will have to look at other options. Is it to go and to the fabricator and reduce the quantity, or whichever way is a cost. So that is why we are clamoring or saying, okay, maybe some kind of so-called should come in order to have a smooth operations.
And I want to believe that you're already having a correspondence or discussion with the government as regards this, right?
Yes, they are listening. The NMDPRA, like I said, they are listening and they are working together.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Yusuf Lawal Othman, National President, Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, for clarifying the issues as regards this proposed ban with us. It was nice talking to you.